chopping the top on this 1933 Chevy window. I have no idea what I'm doing, so this is probably going to be a disaster. Turns out this is way harder than it looks on TV. I guess I'm gonna have a convertible now. Alright, well, I'm working on the door tops right now. And there's actually at the front here on these Chevys, there's a lap welded seam here with some screws and what have you going on. So as it turns out, I was able to just drill out the spot welds and take the screws out and then move that seam back so I didn't have to make a filler piece here. And then the filler piece for this, I just cut out of what I cut out of here, and it has this same line and everything in it. So I'm gonna get started on this other door now. So the door tops are tack welded on, and the front of the roof is tack welded on, and I'm happy with the profile. The reason I did the door tops first is I'm kind of using those as my datum to build the rest of the roof off of. So we'll see how that works out. But everything's just tack welded together right now in case I have to cut or change anything. So the next step is going to be to put the back of the roof on. But before I can do that, I need to make a filler piece to widen the roof here. So according to the door tops, I need to make it about 3/4 of an inch. But you can see there's a factory lead seam here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my piece big enough to eliminate this seam here, and then it'll just be a smooth butt welded panel. And to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to make the filler piece and weld it here off the car, and that way I got access to hammer and dolly it, because there's a brace right behind here, so I won't be able to get to this seam, so I may have to still do a little bit of lead work here, but it'll be better than trying to weld two seams without access, because then it's just gonna sink in. So we'll see how that goes. Very well, I got the filler pieces welded in. This roof's probably gonna get filled, so I didn't bother getting too carried away here. And I also didn't finish off the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I made this slightly bigger. So I'm going to lay it over top of the the front section of the roof. And then I can just slice through here and have a perfect fit up without doing a bunch of measuring in grade 7 math. So I'll get this all ground down and cleaned up, and then get the roof set on the car and see what kind of problems we're gonna have with that. So the B-pillar is tack welded, as is the seam on the roof here. So the next step is to sort out the back of this roof. So what I did here is I cut it down through here like this, and then I just left the roof long when I set it back down. So instead of going through here, you can see just how much misalignment there is, and if you go through here, then you end up having to do pie cuts through here. But this way I can just stretch this back and then weld it to here, and it'll be a little cleaner setup. So I've also got some misalignment here on the quarter window. So what I'll do is I'll cut this up like this and then move this whole section ahead. So there's the back all tack welded together. Got a nice gap there for welding. Cut out the quarter window corner here, and I just trimmed about a ½ inch off of here, slid the whole thing ahead. And that fits like that. So I'll get that all buzzed in and then start on the other side. Alright, I got the quarter windows and back of the roof all tacked together. So pretty happy with the shape of all that. So the next step is going to be to get this back window taken care of. Well, you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? That's what's going on here. I'm working on this back window, and I kind of anticipated this, but was hoping to avoid it. You can see there's a fair amount of gap here. So my plan was just to lean this all back, or lean the back window back, but there's a bit too much curve in the roof here, and I could force this, but I think it's gonna cause more headaches than it's worth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this whole back window out and then drop it down here slightly so that I can get the crown of the roof to match this a little better. And while I'm at it, this needed to be widened anyways, so instead of widening this, I'm just going to take about a quarter of an inch or half inch or whatever out of the center of this, weld it all together, and then yeah, a little more work than I wanted, but I think the end result will be a little better. So the other option I could do is I could chop this back window more, but I absolutely don't want to do that because I like the shape of it, and I don't like the mail slot look on these cars. So more work, but I think it'll be a better end result. There's the completed back window, turned into its own separate project. So let's get that put back in the car now. Well, I got the back window all tacked in and ready to weld, and it's now 9 o'clock, I believe, on Sunday, and I'd like to have this whole roof welded up tonight. Finally got the roof welded on. It's like 18 feet of continuous welding. So I'm not going to be metal finishing this, but I'll get these welds all ground down and do a little bit of hammer and dolly work to clean it up. You can see this gap isn't very good, so before I get too carried away, I'll show how to fix that. You can see this doesn't line up anymore, but I'd rather have it line up here and here because this is actually pretty easy to fix. So I just took a piece of 1/8 inch welding rod and tack welded it on the edge here. And I'm not going for perfect gaps on this car, but I just wanted to get rid of this lump here and this inconsistency. So I'll get this fully welded and then ground down, and then I'll close the door, and then I'll grind this edge until it fits nicely with this edge. So this also works good for correcting gaps when you're fitting your doors. Not necessarily if they're chopped or whatever, but if you got like a big gap down here or whatever and your body lines line up, you can weld this on and grind it down and make it look nice. So, and there's the final product. That'll be good enough for now. I don't bother getting gaps totally perfect till the car is ready for final body work. It's the last thing I do, but I just didn't want it sticking out like a sore thumb. So obviously this car is a ways off from final body work. It is now fully welded and all the welders sanded down, and like I said, this isn't getting metal finished, so there's still a few imperfections, even though they don't really show up very well on camera. So that means it's time to get out the volume. Back of the roof crudely beaten back into shape. 3-inch chop, 1.5 inches out of the back window, and drop the back window down at the body line there, about 3/8 of an inch, then recess the rest of it up into the top of the roof there. Thanks for sticking around to the exciting conclusion of the 1933 Chevy roof job. Considering the circumstances, probably could have gone a lot worse. Also come to my attention that this thing that now has over 250 subscribers, so that's kind of neat, I guess. I just want to say thank you. That'd be fun to put this drop video together to kind of commemorate that, I guess. Never really had any intention of anyone watching these videos, so if you saw a video I did and you liked it enough to subscribe or like what I'm doing, I guess, well, hey, thanks. And if you have any suggestions or ideas for metalworking or welding or whatever, just let me know and I'll try to put something together for you. Obviously the production quality here is pretty low, and I have no interest in kind of promoting any of this or whatever. It's all just garbage anyway, so, but yeah, I guess if we get to 500 subscribers, I'll get a new jacket, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. I kind of like this one. Maybe I'll watch this one. That'd be good enough.